Thoughts video on what is to become of New World. No, I'm going to be making that video this week. Maybe tomorrow. I think we'll... So I'm going to see if there's a Forged in a Tournament episode today, chat. There might be another dev video today. Cam just says, did you just open the door? I didn't know. Uh-oh. Sick. There's a couple packages that have been put in the porch area, Genji. It's like the puppa's food. Those bits and bobs. 12 months for a small raid, a small PvP zone, and swimming. Yeah, it's not enough content compared to, you know, with no new weapon and no new zone, you would expect to be more. But again, to be clear, the reason why there isn't as much content this time around is because most of the developers' efforts are just going to getting the game working on console. The big content that we get for this year, like if you were to put one thing, like let's, you know, one piece of content is the biggest piece of content for the year. In 2023, it was probably just the Brimstone Sands in general, just the Brimstone Sands area. That was the single biggest piece of content for 2023. The biggest piece of content for 2024 was probably the artifact system, and the biggest piece of content for 2024, no. I got my dates mixed up. The biggest piece of content for this year is console. So console this year, the year before was artifacts, and the year before that was the Brimstone Sands region. The Brimstone Sands region and artifacts offer a lot to the players. Console doesn't really offer a lot to the PC players. Gives us a lot more people to play with, which is important for sure, but it's not really new content per se. What is the game that we're going to play next? Again, guys, yeah, maybe you're upset with my answer, maybe you're not. I'm not quitting New World, though. I am not quitting New World. That being said, if you guys are interested, we are going to play PAX Day next week. You do have to pre-order the early access, though. It's like $40, $50 or something, so maybe you're not interested in that. But yeah, I'm going to give PAX Day a go. Might only end up playing it for a few days, but we'll see. Try the PAX Day early access next week, and Terrace Land, which is like Chinese World of Warcraft. We'll be doing that at the end of the month as well. But no plans to quit New World. Still like the game, and I do actually think, from a content creation standpoint, console release will be pretty flippin' awesome for me, chat. There's no other games, really, for me that I feel like, you know, there's games that I want to try out, but there's no games that I want to stream all the time, 24/7, you know, and make loads of videos on. Have you seen what Danny's crew have built? I saw what they built last time. Isengard. Yeah. That massive wall with furnaces as far as the eye can see. Capriot says, do you feel any changes on elemental aversion in the last couple of days? No, I can't say I have. Game just says, I want to live there. It looks so cool. Proper pirate dockyard. I need to... I haven't taken a look at the latest build. Does the early access that they're playing on, does that carry through then to the early access next week? PvP Runner says, do you do Wars at all anymore? No, I can't anyway. If I wanted to stream Wars, I'd have to change my stream time, PvP Runner. And honestly, I don't want to do that. It would be bad for the stream. It would be bad for the way that I, you know, live day to day. So I'm not prepared to change my job, my work, my life. I don't want to change most aspects of the way that I, you know, exist on a day-to-day basis just to do one war once a week. It's not worth it. If wars were absolutely insanely revolutionary, amazing gameplay, and it was the best content on stream, then sure. But you know, yeah, I've played wars. I don't think they really changed that much. Obviously the meta, but yeah, the wars don't happen until like 10, 11 p.m. on the server, so it's just not worth it, quite frankly. I would absolutely do more wars if they were more accessible, if it was at a time that worked for the stream, but they're not. So Onus is on Amazon. I want Amazon to change the game for me rather than me to change my game so I can play that piece of content. And I think most people are in that, you know, most people are in that mindset as well. That's why only 2% of people take part in wars that play New World. Their videos, I'm hoping so. That was what I wanted to check out, actually. Would you like to alpha test access to the new Lord of the Rings MMO? 1 bajillion quadrillion, so much percentage. I really badly would like to have anything to do with the Lord of the Rings MMO. I've said multiple times on stream, partially begged. As somebody who has alpha tested New World, and again, didn't break any NDAs there, was a good boy. I alpha tested Crucible, which was another Amazon Game Studios game. I would 100% be down to also alpha test the Lord of the Rings MMO. I can happily provide any feedback as well, based on extensive experience with New World. Considering it's the same game engine from what I've heard, it'll probably be, you know, similar systems there. And I'm also a big Lord of the Rings nerd, so from, you know, just like a lore standpoint or anything like that. I don't know. I feel like I would be a very good candidate for Lord of the Rings alpha testing. But of course, I am going to believe that because I want to play it. For how many years to alpha test Lord of the Rings? So there's not a small number of people, either in chat or on Reddit or in the New World community, that think Amazon is just working on the Lord of the Rings MMO. They believe that the reason why we're not getting much content this year is because Amazon's just working on the Lord of the Rings MMO. I don't think they are, honestly. I don't think there's many people working on it at all still. I feel like most of Amazon's resources
juste
go
deux, j'aurais pu
towards
utiliser.
console. Next year,
Il
they'll
me
probably
manque des
really pick
dégâts.
up on Lord of the Rings alpha. But this year, I think, is the year of the console. All right. Hey, Duelist, what's going on? They didn't, and yeah, it's true. Crucible and New World didn't really make much of a difference there, to be honest. But still, I just want to play it. I just want to see it. Right, let's see, chat. Forged in Eternum Q&A. So let's see. Hi all. On Tuesday, we plan to film the next Q&A video. The team would like some time to go over the questions about New World Eternum for the video. I know you have a lot, and the team wants to address as many as possible. Please leave your questions below. We'll be taking questions until Monday, June 10th. Okay, so tomorrow they're filming the video. So that video is obviously not coming out today, considering it hasn't even been filmed. What other questions? Why are you acting like the game has not been up for 3 years? Why do you advertise New World Eternum as a brand new IP and as a grand reveal? Why were you not telling your players to wait for it? Why were you telling your players to wait for an announcement regarding new content on June 7th and provide them with none? Do you plan to support the game with anything after console release, or is it a quick investment to return through sales to the new audience scheme? Yeah, I don't know. Will they answer that? Roadmap when? How did you expect your PC current playbase to take the June announcement to tell us to wait for 6 months, to wait for 4 months, and then talk around us? What was the reason for all the silent secrecy about the update? I kind of want to know this. This is, you know, they say that regarding the long-term, like the exact words of Scott Lane was they didn't want to give us information because it would be better for the long-term health of the game, but I don't really see what that means. And now that we know what they announced, I don't understand the context. Friday release at 11 p.m. PT. Now, let me bring up the Twitterino. I wouldn't expect the Lord of the Rings MMO for at least 3 years. Me too. I think it's going to be pretty close to 2030 before we get to play the Lord of the Rings MMO. Dula says, the only thing we got to influence in alphas were the bug reports and telemetry data. They kept inviting people back who were hoarding exploits for release, hence why there were so many abused dupes. Yes, I mean, that also, I feel like it also happens in PTR and stuff as well. What was this, Gamjuru? Oh no. Heckin' bagels. How many hours do I have in New World? We got 6,000 on this version. So what we're playing right now, 6,000 here. Another 600 or so on the test server, and then probably like 1,000 across various betas and alphas. So it's like 7,500 across all versions of New World. A little bit more, a little bit less. What am I doing? I came here for chests, not for the portal. That was it. Trick made a good question. Remove the artifact from the mutated expedition, says Hive Shadow. The more I think about it, the more I feel like artifacts should just be like, you get artifact fragments and then you can turn them into whatever artifact you want. I think that would probably be a pretty good approach to artifacts. Artifact fragments from mutated expeditions, any mutated expedition. Artifact fragments from the PvP rewards track. Artifact fragments from open world bosses. You just put them all together to make it the artifact that you want. Right, this was what I wanted to take a look at. Adventurers. We know that current New World players have questions about what New World Eternum means for them. We will have a new Forged in Eternum video this week explaining what our current players can expect from New World Eternum. This week. And dude, I wish they were more specific sometimes. Come on. What is this week? Could be today. It's probably not gonna be today, is it, chat? Probably gotta be Friday. They're recording tomorrow, unless they have a new video today. Wouldn't they just say today though if it was gonna be today? So much waiting. Wait for 6 months to wait for 4 months. Even just to wait for answers on what is going on, we have to wait an unspecified amount of time. Yeah, Forged in Eternum videos are normally on a Monday, but I don't know. Chat. Pre-recorded video today, probably. Yeah. Will it have anything of substance in it? Mindstro, good to see you, man. How you doing, bud? We'll see, chat. Well, we got 2 hours until the video would usually come out, so see what happens in 2 hours. Average Echo says, the Forged in Eternum video be different to the Q&A video? If so, don't we need to see that first before they ask us questions? Yes, but I mean, you know, it's not stop them doing things in a weird order and things that don't make sense is half of the course, right? Wizard Morcath says, they classed to action RPG. I wonder if they plan to do a seasonal realm like some of the other ARPGs, and the answer to the current players is that we're gonna get some Diablo 4 Eternal Realm stuff. So, again, this is something that Amazon needs to really clarify upon. I would like to say, a pretty extensive knowledge of New World, being somebody who spent so much time playing it and spends a lot of time talking to you guys. I do occasionally get interactions with devs or people who work with devs. So yeah, as somebody who pays very close attention to what's happening in New World, because it is my job as well as a hobby and what I do here, my understanding is that New World Eternum isn't actually really an action RPG. It's just being labeled as that because they believe it will sell more copies. New World in October, which is New World Eternum, it's still just the same game. It is not going to be a functionally different mechanics. It's not going to be like a top-down character. There's not going to be, you know, tab targeting and stuff like that. New World Eternum is New World. It will play the same as New World. It looks the same as New World. It sounds the same as New World. It's just a jazzy marketing maneuver, effectively. Amazon very, very extensively, to their detriment, I believe, really focus on data. They are incredibly data-driven as a company, from development to communication to marketing, all aspects of the game, I believe. They just follow what the data tells them. And I believe Amazon's financial team, Amazon's marketing team, Amazon's data analysts believe that by labeling the game as an ARPG, as an action role-playing game, it will sell more copies, it will be more consumable, and it will be easier to understand for the console community. Again, I'm not saying that I believe this myself, but this is my understanding of why this is happening. It is not because they are actually changing the mechanics of the game and that New World Eternum will play like a different game. New World Eternum is New World. It's basically just to sell more copies of the game on console.
Ich bin jetzt einer von denen. Einer von denen, die viel zu viel bezahlt haben. Für einen Gartenzaun! Entschuldigung.
You know, they could label it as whatever they want, right? I mean, they couldn't say it's a first-person shooter. They could even say New World is a third-person shooter with with melee combat mechanics. They could call it whatever they want, right? And they will. They'll call it what they think would sell the most copies. So. If it's not an ARPG, but you could argue that it is, though, right? The only thing that's saying it's not an ARPG is what you personally believe an ARPG is. I mean, what are the defining elements of an action RPG? How do we determine what makes an ARPG an ARPG, chat? Do they all have to have the top-down camera?
Putain!
Yeah, that's something that I feel like is very synonymous with them. But it's all data for them. They brag. They have their hours in the game. Like we see, they play the game. Still see them doing things the players don't want. I mean, for me, the thing that's like always kind of troubling is when the developers play a build internally and some very glaring bugs make it through. Like
I could have waited 1 minute,
the
man.
stamina thing should have been picked up pretty quickly, because blocking into a dodge roll is something that players do every single day. So I'm just confused as to how Amazon don't do that when they're playing internally to find that bug. Etronics says Trick had a point the other day. It actually already is an action RPG with very little MMO elements, since most people do things solo anyway. It's true. I mean, New World probably is more of an action RPG than it is an MMO. Like, if you think about it right now, when I think of what an MMO is, it's usually like raiding, endgame PvP, you know, grinding out better gear and stuff like that. And I mean, those are things that you do.
Hey, good,
Those
Miku,
are
man.
good things in New World. The stuff that is best in New World is just going out and chopping down trees, leveling up, and kind of goofing around with people in the middle of the town, you know? So, if anything, in New World, like, if I was to say, describe New World as a genre based on the things that are best in the game, like, what are the best elements of New World, in my opinion? It's the combat, it's the social elements, and it is the crafting and gathering. So I would call New World a social sandbox RPG with multiplayer elements, you know? It's probably how I would call the game. If I was labeling New World based on what I think its strengths are. Action RPG does not mean it has to be top-down. People just assume this. Yeah, I don't think there's any written rule that an action RPG has to be a top-down. Just most of the popular ones are. Stardew Valley equals New World. Best element is gathering. Yeah, true.
Putain!
Says, why is everyone so mad? Wasn't the announcement exactly what we knew would be announced based on the hints and data mining and show what people want? A relaunching console is the only thing that could save the game. I think the main reason why people are so mad is the timeline of what happened to C4. Amazon said that we should wait since December of 2023. That was 6 months ago. 6 months ago,
Putain!
said we're going to be making a major announcement in May regarding the future of the game, and we think you're going to be very excited for what we have to announce. This is one of the biggest things we've ever done in New World, and we know you guys are going to love it. In May, they then said, actually, we've decided it's going to be June. We're going to be announcing at Summer Games Fest. So we waited another month. On the lead up to that month, there was a lot more videos that came out, kind of frustrating videos, but the developers said to us, it kills us that we can't tell you guys what we're working on. It really tears us apart inside that we can't share details with you. But again, you know, we really are excited to share this news with you guys. We think you're really going to love it. They just hyped it up perpetually over and over again, telling us that they can't tell us what we're working on, but it is a really big deal. And it's something that the player base is going to love. And then the day arrives, and it is I think it was about a 40-second clip that we waited an hour and 45 minutes into Summer Games Fest for a 40-second video that basically said, the game's coming to console in October, bye!
Allez, putain! Déplace-toi! Putain! Mais je te jure, quoi!
We were really excited, that was it? And then like, no, don't worry, there's a video that's coming out afterwards as well, so...
Putain! Oh, c'est le loup à chaque fois.
And And you know what they did in that 35-minute video for the player base, for the people who are still playing the game and were waiting for it? They were like, hey guys, welcome to New World. So we know you guys haven't played the game before. Let me start with the basics. So when you play New World and you dodge, it uses stamina. And we were like, what? Why they, what? And they're like, yeah, and you have 2 different weapons, and each weapon has 3 abilities. And it's like an
Ici,
action combat.
putain.
So you can actually dodge under and duck through projectiles. And we're like, what are you...
Come on, bitch.
What? Like, what is going on? It was like, honestly, man, it was so bizarre. Like, initially I was like in shock, and now I'm just like, so yeah, that's why people are angry, because they waited 6 months to tell us the game is coming to console, and then pretended we didn't exist. Like, they literally pretended that the existing player base isn't around, and it's not as if they didn't anticipate this, maybe to some degree. Like, well, why are they so...
Putain, mais je te jure, quoi. Putain.
The way that they did it is so bizarre. So, again, maybe you're right in that maybe we shouldn't be surprised, because...
Mais c'est quoi ces trucs? C'est trop lent.
Communicated this. It feels very disrespectful. I continue to be at a loss, not necessarily for how Amazon developed the game, but for how they interact with the player base. And Amazon have this mantra within Amazon Game Studios. You might have seen it, where they say that they are customer obsessed. The customer, they have an obsession with the customers, and they develop the game, and the game is implemented based on feedback. Like, it is such a mantra within Amazon Game Studios. And honestly, I feel like they couldn't be further away from that. Like, they are so terrible with working with their customer player base. Like, it's just a cataclysmic failure. Whoever is responsible for the communications and PR for New World is terrible at their job. And I know that sounds pretty harsh to say, but it's true. And I think you ask any New World creator, any member of the New World's community out there, and they would agree. It has been such awful communication. And it's not as if they didn't have time to prepare for this. They
Putain, viens ici, sale but. Viens ici.
Some stuff prepped.
Allez, tape, putain.
So again, you know, I'm
Allez, tue-moi, salope online, là. Je me mets à 20 HP, viens ici, ça pute.
Because I knew it was announced. It's just the way that they went about doing it. It was bizarre. It's very bizarre. If AGS had never mentioned the big update continues to roll out minor updates, and all of a sudden we hear about console, that would have been so much more well received. Yeah, although I don't think that could ever happen. Like, just on the very nature of data miners and, you know, pesky content creators like me, who, you know, try and find out as much details as we can so we can make videos to get views and stuff like that. You know, so there was always, I don't know, unless they had some way to hide and prevent data miners from finding things out. Stuff was always going to get discovered, but...
J'en prends 3. Putain.
Do we have a link to the video chat? Which video, sorry, Rob? Dusty says, we've asked for Outpost Rush, Arena, MMR, ranked for years, new PvPQ game mode, casual wars, actual raid progression. Yeah, I mean, there should be matchmaking at some point.
Can you dezoom, putain? J'en prends 3, j'en prends 3, j'en prends 3. J'en prends 3. Il y en a 3 qui viennent avec moi là. J'en prends 3, j'ai dit, putain, pas plus. Hein, c'est bon. Allez, tape, putain.
The one with the announcement? Oh, you want to see the New World console announcement? Yeah, I can share that with you. Let's see. Announcements. Where is it? Where's the video? In here, right? Have you seen the recent Steam reviews? I have, yeah. I have. What is the announcement video? Oh, here we go. Announcement trailer. Share. Copy. Paste. There we go. That's the announcement trailer. free-for-all PvP zone been discussed yet? They've confirmed its existence, but they haven't really given any more specifics. They just said that it is a thing. You'll be able to earn, I think they call it Mystic Doubloons while you're in there.
Shit.
So, and the Mystic Doubloons you can spend on best in slot gear. You can kill other players to earn their Mystic Doubloons. Baggins, when is June announcement? It was over the weekend. It was 3 days ago is when it was made. So it's already happened, Weber. Announcement has already happened. Let me just plug my own video here, I guess. Why not?
Putain, mais ça lag sa mère, ce jeu de merde. Putain, ta gueule.
There we go. There's a link to my video breaking down
Ta gueule, putain.
on the actual video that was played at Summer Games Fest. Said they couldn't talk about the new raid boss in the trailer? Yeah.
Putain.
Oh. Continuing to say that they can't talk about the raid boss and they can't talk about the PvP zone. Like, come on, dude. Why? Because, like, why can't you talk about the raid boss in the PvP zone at this point? Memphis says, I find that they just want to take the ESO route. ESO had a relaunch the exact same manner. ESO is flagged as an ARPG rather than MMO on their official website too. Yeah, and I think, to my understanding, the console release for ESO did actually turn the game around to some degree. Like, ESO was kind of failing with the console release. There was some point where the game did, you know, a 180 and actually recovered.
Casse-toi, ça putain de mine.
Fix says, what's the best build for healer now? Depends if you want to do PvP or PvE. So if you want to fight other players or do you want to do dungeons, Fix? How positive do you feel that AGS will actually release any sort of video today? I have about a 10% positivity. Miss.
Putain!
I don't know. I think the video is probably not going to be out until Friday. But Monday is typically the day that they release videos. Then maybe there'll be a video today, but it's not going to be a video that we want. Today's video is just going to be more kind of fluff stuff. The video today might just be another video, like kind of explaining New World to people who don't know what the game is. And weapons on? What is this, Sando Commando?
Ici, c'est là, mec.
There he is, dude. Oh no, I'm dying. Too busy looking at Scott Lane.
Dégage, putain.
New World.
Putain!
Thank you, dude. Don't die. Let me go. Thank you, kind sir. Do I? What they should do, chat, in the meantime, assuming that they still have the video, they should just release an uncensored, unedited version of KT and Lydia talking together. Remember that video where we got trolled? Where, like, KT and Lydia were talking, and every time, like, KT would say, like, oh, so one of the things that we've got coming up in the game that's going to be really cool is... We're going to just play the New World music instead. Just release the uncensored version of that video so we can actually hear what KT's saying. I mean, that, you know, that would be pretty easy to do, right? Duelist says, do you really think you won't be able to be successful in an established game? Yeah, I think it would be... I don't know. If it was possible, I think it would take years to climb Duelist and losing most stuff on the way there. I don't know, all I've known so far, man, is to play a new IP as it comes out and rise with that. So, and on the way up, it is really good. And, you know, if I do happen to hedge my bets on a horse that doesn't lose, then it would be glorious. But I've just, you know, somehow always chosen games that flop Duelist. You know, one day it maybe wouldn't flop. So, yeah. Every game so far, sadly, after a few years, has been almost entirely dead. Around Sam Lodbrock says, Baggins, what's the best place to farm rabbits? In my opinion, it's Amarine Temple, this area here. You just keep doing like a loop around here. The rabbits respawn fairly quickly. I would recommend this. Actually, speaking of which, I need to go get some rabbits. Chris says, I want to share with you Shad's reaction he had on the stream yesterday for the whole thing. It's more than a minute, so he can't clip it all. If you're interested, I can share the video link in time. Yeah. Sure. My expectation is that Shroud might be actually kind of excited. I don't think he, and again, I mean no ill will when I say this, but I don't think he really plays the game or pays too much attention to it anymore. He enjoyed the game a lot when it came out, but, you know, realized that it's kind of a flop and it's not super popular with his audience, so. I think a lot of people who didn't play New Worlds, and the last time they played New World was like a year or two ago, probably like New World Eternum sounds kind of cool. If it's like a clean slate, because the way it's New World Eternum's kind of being marketed is it's like it's just, you know, it's New World 2 or it's like a wipe to the game. It's starting all over again. And like, oh, I'll start if it's New World all over again, then I'll give it a go. Asmongold's reaction of KT and crew walking up the stage. Oh yeah, telling them to get back on the stage. Yeah, I saw that. Let me see, Chris. Where is it? Here we go. What's happens in here? Do you have the timestamp, Chris? This just took me right to the beginning of the VOD. I mean, I could probably find it anyway, right? He's just watching IGN live.
Practice wars where two companies can agree to war without owning territory.
Oh yeah, I saw it in the thumbnail thing. Where is it? This is the problem with finding New World in the thing. It's so brief. It's such a short segment. Okay, is it after this? Wait, is this actual Summer Games Fest? Or what are we? Is this the first announcement? Zenyatta, thank you so much for the 17 months with the Prime. Thank you, dude. 2415. Okay, here we go.
Oh shit!
Bump up the quality a little bit. We'll try 720p, 30 FPS. Baggins, I hope you actually play that Baked Bean FPS game. Dude, how did that Baked Bean FPS game get like a 3-minute trailer and Amazon had a 30-second trailer? I don't understand. Like, if it's $250,000 a minute, how are all these indie game studios like getting a 3-minute trailer? Is like every indie game dev a millionaire these days? I don't understand how it works. Alright, let's watch this.
New Worlds. Holy fucking balls. What a slap in the face this was, huh? New Worlds gamers? How many of you guys are there?
At least 6.
Oh my god. I watched the whole 30-minute video of New Worlds, the dev thing.
Yeah.
After this trailer? What the fuck are they doing?
Putting the game on console.
It pisses me off.
They just want to. They honestly, I think Amazon kind of just want to shut the game down and relaunch it on console, but they probably can't. You know, they realize it's like a bit too much of a dick move, so they're doing like the closest thing they can to it. That's what it feels like right now, anyway.
Buddy, you're telling me. This is what happens when you have people who don't play games make games. That's New World. As much as I do enjoy New World and thought it had a chance, seeing what they did with this Eternum shit.
Putain, laisse-moi en tuer 2, sérieusement. J'en prends 3, mais j'en prends pas 4. Je te l'ai déjà dit, salope. 3, mais pas 4. Putain. Allez, tape, ça peut. Tape, putain, mais.
Yeah, okay. Not holding any punches there, man. Oh, did you guys miss the end of that one?
Yeah, sale pute.
What's the other clip? Galvicious. Is that just the clip of the same thing? Hold on, how do I... What is this? Go here. And then hello everybody, says Fausto. Hey, what's going on, Fausto? This is the same clip?
Oh my god.
Okay, yeah, this is his reaction. Music here. Delegama says, what happened to New World? So the game's still around, so you can still play right now. Servers are still up. There's not that many servers left. Basically, the last significant thing that happened to New World was the Rise of the Angry Earth expansion, which in and of itself is I don't know if problematic is the word, but the Rise of the Angry Earth expansion, which came out October last year, they increased the level cap from 60 to 65. So yeah, you can go all the way up to level 65 now. They also introduced some stuff in the game that is like kind of cool. We have artifacts, which are like uniques from Diablo. Special weapons, there's only one of them in the game, although everybody can get their one copy of the weapon, if that makes sense. And it does like cool stuff, like this bow does lightning damage instead of normal damage. This ring gives you super lifesteal, etc. And they also introduced mounts as well, so you can ride around on a mount. The kicker is, though, that if you wanted to get the mount, or if you want to try artifacts, or you want to do any of the new endgame stuff, you have to pay for the expansion. Which, again, I don't really think is like, oh my god, paying for game content? What a terrible... You know, I'm not like upset about that, but I acknowledge that New World isn't really in a good spot, and the general sentiment towards New World, most people didn't think the game was good when it first came out. So for Amazon to then charge people to, have features that should have been in the game by default, like mounts, maybe it was a bit ballsy. So the expansion, I don't think sold too well. I think the expansion probably underperformed. Even though I thought the expansion's pretty good, I feel like Amazon probably didn't sell as many copies as they wanted to. So Amazon reverts to plan B for the game, which is to bring the game to console. If they sell the game on console, they'll make a lot of money, because nobody owns a copy of the game on console. So that's the plan, and that's where Amazon's been focusing on. And that's, I feel like, all that's been happening since 2023, and maybe even before then, is Amazon is just basically bringing the game to console. Not too much else is happening until then. So for the first 10 months of this year, we're not really getting any new content. But after 10 months into 2024, in October, the game does come out on console. And there'll be a little bit of new content with that, but most of the developers' efforts are just going towards console. Oh, yeah. That's New World. It's like the rundown, It's a recap of what's been happening over the past 12 months. Expansion came out. Expansion was fairly good. And the next big thing to happen to the game is console. Which, unfortunately, means that I think over the next 4 months, I don't think, there's already not that many people playing the game, and I think the number of people that play in the game is probably going to get lower, because again, there's not really much to do, people burn through content pretty quickly, and then they get bored, and then they'll play some other game. But New World will likely have a good chunk of players in October. I do think the game in October will, I do genuinely believe, maybe it's hopium and copium, but I do genuinely believe that Amazon will sell quite a lot of copies of New World on console. I think Xbox or PlayStation will enjoy the game, at least initially. Because the first 200 hours of New World is really solid. Like, it's good fun. It is really good fun. And then after that, you're like, oh, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. To be fair, that's a lot of MMOs, but yeah. So, in October, I do think it's going to be fun. I'll make fresh start characters. I'm also going to make like a ton of videos as well. JDMX, I make a lot of videos. A lot of people will search those videos, get a lot of ad revenue. It'll be a great time for my channel. From purely just from a financial standpoint, New World Eternum will be great for me for producing content, educational, informational content, which is what I do best. And in the meantime, I'm just going to chill with you guys. I will still play New World here and there. If something else looks like it'll be more fun to play in the meantime, then I might play a bit of, like I say, PAX Day. We'll play some of that next week, but I don't think it's going to be too much fun. Like, you know, this is the position that I'm in where, like, I can acknowledge that New World doesn't have a lot of players, and that the gameplay, you know, is a bit repetitive, but there's really not that much else out there right now that interests me either, so. Is the PvP dead? No, you can queue up. In fact, let's do a little bit right now. You can queue up for Outpost Rush, which is the 20 versus 20 PvP game mode, and you'll typically get in within, like, a couple minutes. That might just be specific to the European server, because it's cross-server for Outpost Rush, but typically, that, you know, happens fairly fast. Kev, thank you so much for the 12 months with the tier 1. Thank you, Kev. Thank you for the Euro support. Thank you, buddy. Did you start New World knowing you were going to create content for it? Yeah, to some degree. Yeah, I'd known about New World for a while. I thought it was a cool game. I thought there was a lot of potential with New World, and there is. To this day, I still think there is. So yeah, I was excited for New World. I mean, you know, like you guys, not only from like I like play New World as a creator, but I also just play New World because, you know, I think it's a cool game. It's a fun game. The combat in it is very unique, and there's not really anything else like New World. Should we play Fire Staff? Let's play Fire Staff because my stats are still set up for that. And then pump some food. And Homestone. And then attributes. Do I need to respec? I don't think I do, actually, do I? Nice. Outpost Rush queues are faster than 3v3 by a long shot, yeah. I mean, Outpost Rush is basically the last form of PvP that's still active in New World. Outside of Outpost Rush, there's not much. Elvari says, what I'm mad about is the way they made the DLC. It looked like we would have other free update to come, and there was nothing. Oh, you mean with the expansion?
Can I get an invite to the company? I already applied in Discord.
Yeah, absolutely, mister. Sorry, friend. Well, I'll get around to that very soon, after we get out of this game. Sorry, mister. Sorry to keep you waiting. Are we getting a roadmap today? I'm not sure, Chad. I hope so. It'd be a good time for it. You know, we've waited halfway through the year for a roadmap. They told us that they couldn't tell any. They said that, oh, we're not allowed to tell you guys anything until the June announcement. The June announcement has happened, so surely they can tell us stuff now, right? Surely. Oh ho ho! Damn, dude. I should have just dodged a little bit more. He was out of stamina. Just get some distance and fire stuff him down. People confuse that all the time. The game is a great game. It's just managed horribly. If it's a bad game, nobody would give it. Yeah, I mean, you know, people being upset about New World, people still talking about New World to this day, is because it was, maybe not right now, but at one point it was special to people, you know. Increase the amount of tokens on the PvP rewards track. Dude, whoa, I rubber band, like, slid forward so far there. This is not good for me, chat. Maybe. I don't really know what I can do here. Okay, well, we didn't die. Good news. They will keep some stuff quiet if they think it will spoil the console release. Will it, though? I mean, how would it spoil the console release? Wouldn't it just make the console release more exciting if there was more stuff that you knew about? Right? Am I wrong in thinking that? We don't want to give the console we want to tell the console players that there'll be too much game to play. Surely it'd be in their best interest to, you know, like, hype up as much as they can all that is available. I don't know, my thought process is, I don't even know if they have a roadmap, chat. I don't know if they have. I do think such a considerable amount of time, maybe even more than they anticipated, but getting New World working on console is proving to be so difficult for them. Like, getting the game working smoothly on console is so incredibly challenging that they don't have time for anything else. Like, that's all they can do. Every hour of every day from now until October, and since last year, has just been focused on trying to get New World working on console, because the game is such a mess. And maybe it's, I mean, I think we could all agree it's probably not outside the realm of possibility that that October 15th date maybe gets delayed. Unless Sony and Microsoft, you know, have some sort of rule where they have to adhere to that date. What? Rich says, go back to the video of them on the stage. Katie said we can't talk about that and we don't want to give too much away. I know, but why? What I'm saying is why. I know she said that, but I don't feel like there's a good reason for why to that anymore now. Like, we don't want to give details about the raid because our PC community would like to hear about that, and we're trying very actively right now to make sure the PC community is upset as possible. Like, I mean, honestly, like, that's all I can imagine. We don't want to give details about new content because that's what the PC community want to hear about. And we've decided internally that we want to make sure we piss off the PC playbase as much as possible. I mean, most likely, the reason why they wouldn't talk about it on that stage is because that stage, again, they had a predetermined script of what they would talk about on that stage. They also had a scripted crowd that would also cheer for absolutely everything. Did you guys see the crowd during the IGN video? Like, that had to be a paid crowd or something, right? They cheered absolutely everything. Like, Scott Lane would be like, so in our game, you can chop down trees and mine rocks, and the crowd would be like, woo! Yeah, trees! We love chopping trees! Like, what is going on, dude? Like, yeah, we have in the game, we have, like, we're in this point where it's right between, you know, swords getting phased over to guns, so we have magic and muskets, but we also have, like, sword and shield and stuff, and you'd be like, yeah, sword and shield, woo! Like, is there anything this crowd isn't excited about? Like, what's going on? This is the most hyped crowd I've ever seen. Alright, let's try and get a kill or something. Oh, it's a healer. No! Oh my goodness, I'm dead. I'm dead, chat. This is not a great game. That was the 2 free drinks kicking in. Whose fault do you think it is? Who would you put the blame on? I honestly don't know the full structure. I don't even think it's Scott Lane. I don't think it is. I know he's game director, but Scott has a boss above him, and then his boss probably has a boss above him. I mean, Amazon is a mega corporation, right? They're not a small indie studio. I don't know how you attribute the decisions. Ultimately, the people, like, the wrongdoing for New Worlds all attributes back to whoever made the decision to release the game when it came out. Like, whoever, like, said, like, right, you guys have to release the game on September 26, 2021, when it was just clearly not ready for release. Whoever that person is, I don't know if they're still working at Amazon, but whoever calls the big shots for what they work on, the final call, whoever, you know, said it's them. This is some very high level of executive, you know, somebody who doesn't play video games at all and just sees dollar signs and doesn't care, doesn't know what an Outpush Rush map is. I mean, I would be, I think it's very likely that the people who make the most important decisions about New World have no idea what New World is. They don't play video games. They literally don't care. same guy who made the Rings of Power? I hope things are different with the Lord of the Rings MMO chat, but man. Because it's not as if every single developer at Amazon Game Studios is like, you know, terrible at their job.
Sérieusement.
Amazon Game Studios, I really do. And I think the like art team, who, you know, there were people responsible for making the game look like the way it does and making the game sound like the way it does, they are incredibly talented. Really good people. Like the core concept behind New World stuff. Like there's some good people, you know. But then there's also some not so good people, and then there's the leadership. People calling the shots. And they are just completely outdoing any of the good, really. We gotta get Jeff back in that chat. Jeffy Bezos. He's gotta get step back up as CEO. Okay, that's what we need. It's gonna be messy. Yes. Pressure on the healer so they don't heal other people, I guess. Just heal themselves. And then hopefully the DPS slowly die. Doesn't seem to be happening though. I'm gonna heal in a second. Yeah. I need Leeching Flurry in this build. I don't know why I don't have it. Telling you, Baggins, Rings of Power Online is coming. I mean, in the article that we got about the Lord of the Rings MMO, it was like a year ago. But in the article we got about the Lord of the Rings MMO, they said it wouldn't be connected to Rings of Power. It's not set in the second age, it's the third age. So, Baggins, have you done an Elden Ring run? No, I've never actually played a single minute of Elden Ring. I've watched quite a bit of gameplay. Generally, don't really play that many Dark Souls games. I know the combat's not a million miles away from New World, so I'd probably enjoy it, but what's this, Gamgee? Dude, I would sub and be locked into you playing that. I think you'd like it. Oh, Elden Ring? When is the expansion happen, chat? When is the Elden Ring expansion stuff? I mean, heck it, chat, you know, like I say, I enjoy New World, and I'm not quitting New World, but I also acknowledge that there's not really going to be much happening in the next 4 months, from what I can tell. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think we're getting a Season 6 until October, chat. It's not been proven yet, but... Again, Amazon's really not alleviating any player concerns. So if that timeline is true, if we don't have any new content until October, then yeah, just taking a little bit of time to play some other things here and there, if you guys would enjoy it. I'm down. Do you remember Crucible? Dude, I do remember Crucible, man. I love Crucible. I still do. Look, it's still here on my shelf, just sitting there. Memories of back in the day.
Today we celebrate the mystery of American renewal.
Pre-order the Vault Edition now. meines Throns bemächtigt.
Wir reisen nach Königsmund.
Krieg zieht auf. Und keiner von uns kann gewinnen.
Shit.
Alright, well, that was not the best game for the chance, could be said. Bug, says Gamgee.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it
it's
was
not
a
good.
bug. Alright, just give me 1 second, friends. What is Crucible? Crucible was a game made by Amazon Game Studios. Sadly, it didn't really live to see the light of day. So, Crucible basically got shut down around the same time that New World started moving into open beta and stuff like that. It was a third-person shooter, kind of like Overwatch, but with different elements. Terrible FPS. Surprising, you know, got a few bugs. But it was a good game. It was special to me, Crucible. I liked it a lot. What if we, the PC community, boycotted the game and make them listen to us? Do you think they would? No. The only thing that Amazon will listen to is money. And I don't think there's anything the PC community can do on that front. We've already bought the game, Bonesy. There's not a repeat revenue system to New World outside of, you know, we could all say that we're not going to buy the season pass, but at this, I don't know if there's going to be a season pass until console, man. I don't know, really. So, yeah. You want to hurt them, you hurt them in the wallet, but it's not possible right now. No subscriptions, so. Code word for Amazon's button ad because he starts talking about that dead game. Ads run every 20 minutes. There's a 1 minute ad every 20 minutes, I'm afraid. Mr. Bossman says, I applaud you for being so positive for so long, but it gets to a point where they need to give us something. No, I agree. I mean, I feel like I have been pretty critical. Again, I was just saying earlier, Mr. Bossman in the stream, that the communication that's been, you know, over the past 3-4 days, I have never seen a PR communication effort that has been as bad as this. In all my time gaming, and all my time making, I've been a streamer since 2016, been uploading YouTube videos since 2007. I've never seen a game studio so poorly mismanage its communication to its existing player base on what they're doing with the game. It is truly terrible. So I don't know if that is being positive. Yeah. Getting the PC community to boycott the game is not possible. Somebody will still play it and complain in the chat. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Genji, it's almost there. Almost there. There hasn't been anything up until now, huh? Easy says, yo, I saw some New World big news. It's a joke, Lamau. So, I saw somebody else talking about this. Oh my god. Sorry. Seizure. Flashing lights. Colored Spuds also says, can you explain what is this New World game is going to be? I'm kind of slow. Yeah, it's all a bit confusing, chat, and I can't give you 100% irrefutable proof because there isn't anything. You know, I feel like, alright, can you show me some post where Amazon has clearly broken down what exactly is happening with the game? It doesn't exist. This is my understanding based on being pretty well informed about New World, as well as anybody can be informed about New World and what's going on. New World Eternum is a rebranded, repackaged name for New World. So it's still New World, it's just got a new cover on the front of it. But ultimately, still the same game. It's still an MMO. They're calling it an action RPG, an ARPG, rather than an MMORPG. But it doesn't mean that it's getting elements taken away from it. It's not going to be any less or any more of an MMO in October than it is now. The reason why they're calling it an ARPG is because they think the game will sell better, that genre of game performs better in terms of sales on console, and that's why they want to call it an action RPG. So yeah, there's some people who are confused because even on their website chat, you know, you go in, take a look at something like this, and we go to the FAQ, frequently asked questions about the game, and people say, what kind of game is New World Eternum? And they say New World Eternum is an action RPG, but New World right now is an MMORPG. So is New World Eternum a different game? This is like something. This is a completely different game. No, it's not. New World Eternum is New World. It's just, you know, it's just like it's an update for the game. But for console, it's like a game that doesn't exist currently, right? Because you can't play New World until October. So for us, it's an update. For console, it's a brand new game. Amazon want to start referring to the game as Eternum instead of New World because SEO. So when you Google New World, it doesn't give you as many search results as Eternum does. If they called it Eternum, it'd be easier to find reviews for the game. Also, conveniently, if you search for Eternum, not as much like negativity would show up regarding New World. Obviously, there's a lot of stigma and negativity surrounding New World, but Eternum, reviews on Eternum don't exist because it hasn't been called that. So yeah, I think it's like a marketing move, 99% chat. It's not a brand new game. That being said, again, my understanding is New World Eternum is on the next version of the game engine that New World runs on. So New World runs on what is called the Azoth engine. And I think New World Eternum is on like the Azoth engine 2. Not entirely sure on that one though. Citation needed. But it doesn't mean that your character is going to get wiped. So if you have a character on the servers right now, like I do chat, if you have a character when you log into New World, you can still play it in October when the update comes out. You're not going to lose your character. But in October, there is going to be a gear score increase. 725 will be the new max loot. And I think you will have to get new drops. There'll be new drops that go to 725. I don't know if you'll be able to upgrade your existing gear, other than the artifacts. I think artifacts do upgrade to 725. Everything else, all your crafted gear, all your random drops, those don't upgrade. Again, don't know for sure. This is for Amazon to clarify. This is what we really could do with right now, but they're not communicating this stuff right now. So I'm just trying my best to understand and make sense of it. I'm going to do a video on YouTube to break this all down in the near future, friends. So if you type !YouTube, there'll be a video out before the end of this week where I'm going to just look through as much information as I can and break it all down. But yeah, this is another thing that's frustrating. You know, this is what people on PC are really pissed off with Amazon right now because they're not explaining. But it's under the guise that, you know, they told us after June, after the announcement, they would explain, and that they haven't yet. They still haven't really explained. So I know all the communication that's going out from Amazon right now is just for console players. They just want to hype up New World Eternum, and they don't really want to address the fact that they do have a player base still. And, you know, they don't want to bring us in out of the loop. They just want to focus on the, you know, the new kids that they got coming. Can console players join servers like Nisa? Yes, they can. Yeah, console is crossplay. So console players can come play on Nisa. They can come and play on Valhalla. Console players can play on Marama. But very likely they will choose to play on the brand new servers. There's going to be fresh start servers in October, and that's where most people go. Statistically, what I've observed, chat, and you can check this out for yourself right now, if you want to. If you go to make a new character. Oh, sorry, Gemji. Yes, please. By the way, Genji, I just saw your message on Discord. Apologies, friends. Just give me 1 second. Going so slow. Come on, dude. As I was saying, chat, if you make a new character right now, if I go and create a new character, if you, excuse me, if you make a new character on Nisa, make a new character on Aru, and then make a new character on Kronos, I would say, I would bet good money that if you were gonna see other people on the starting beach, you would see more people on the starting beach in Kronos. In your first 20 minutes of playing the game, you'll see so many more new people playing than you would on Nisa and Aru. Not that there's that many people joining the game right now. I know you're gonna say LOL players in New World, but yeah, my observation is that people heavily favor choosing a fresh start world when they're making a character. Even though there's no reason to, because genuinely there's almost no difference between Nisa and Kronos other than player numbers. Like, a fresh start server isn't really for, it doesn't make any sense anymore. It's not a thing, you know? It's not fresh. It's like a year and a half old. This came out in November 2022. So, yeah. But just based on the fact that the vast majority of people who start New World choose to play on Kronos, or they choose to play on Lilith, the same will be true of console, I assume. The vast majority of console players will choose to play on one of these servers. Amazon will probably set it up with an algorithm that will recommend they play on those servers as well. So those will be the servers they see first. And then Nisa, Marama, Eldorado, those servers will all be hidden at the bottom of the list. And they'll be like, yo, don't go on those servers. They're stinky, you know. Don't go to these servers. These servers are filled with experienced legacy players. We highly recommend you stay away from these players. We don't like them. That's what's gonna happen. So yeah, even though console players could join us on Marama, they won't. Dude, why do you think console players will play this game? What makes you say they won't play the game? How are you so confident that console? I'll answer the question, but at the same time, give me your explanation first. Why are you confident that nobody on console or very few people will play the game on console? How are you? Mutt says, back in 7 I streamed a few weeks ago, you said in August the game will be great again, but a few weeks ago the game got overwhelmingly negative reviews. I hope it will be alive again after consoles. I don't know if I ever said August, but yeah. What is this tune? We're listening to Stream Beats right now. Stream Beats Lo-Fi Mix. Atrionics. That previous tune that we just were listening to is Neon Drive is the name of it. This game needs a full PvP server. Alright, there we go. Cosmic Mike says, I'm eager to play on console. Would it be lying if I didn't say the price tag? Maybe wonder if I should wait. Yeah, it's what is it, $60? Pre-order is pretty expensive. It's true. I feel like games in general are going up in price a lot lately. The idea that you could pay $100 for a game sounds pretty eye-watering, but you know, we've seen it happen with Diablo and stuff like that. I wanted to go close the major corruption portal, that was it. Right. Wolfsbane says, kinda sucks, the stream vibe is generally so good, but it's such a mood kill now. Really? I feel like I'm still trying to keep a good air of positivity, and I'm trying to be fairly chill. I apologize, chat. Again, I don't really want to be bumming anybody out. It's, you know, the news that Amazon have put out lately has been generally taken on by almost all people negatively. So I think for me to be overwhelmingly positive about the news that Amazon shared with us would just be disingenuous, and it wouldn't align with 99% of you guys in Twitch chat. So, yeah, you know, I do have the ability to read the room, and I am also a player, like you guys, and yeah, I am upset as well, so. Yeah. What else to say? If you feel like playing, better to wait until console release and go fresh start. I would say so. Yeah, I think so. Again, not to be overwhelmingly negative, but you could almost effectively assume that New World is shut down without being shut down. You can play the game right now, but I don't think anything is going to be changing for the game in the next 3 months. I think nothing major is happening to New World until October. So if you are planning to get back into New World, unless you are simply getting into New World just because you want to just live in it, you know, if you'd be happy playing New World and it being exactly the same as when you played it, you know, 6 months ago, basically, if you've played New World as recently as the expansion, chat, it is the exact same game as it was in the expansion. Nothing has really changed. The combat, sadly, has gotten slightly worse, at least from a PvP standpoint. But yeah, nothing else has changed. Doesn't it feel like you have to create a new character too? Yeah, I will be creating a new character in October, but I don't mind doing that. Like, I'm already making a new character recently. Fresh Start is, you know, last time we did Fresh Start, I made a new character. It was pretty hype. I enjoy it. I know, again, I understand the bafflement from some of you guys, but I do legitimately still enjoy New World. Like, I like playing the game. Feels fun. Some of it is also just like a comfiness thing. You know, I've played the game for 5,000 hours that I can play the game on autopilot. It affords me something that almost no other game that I can stream right now, like any other game that I try and stream right now, I'll have to pay attention to what's going on in the game. But because I've got so many hours in New World, I play the game without really thinking about what I'm doing, because I'm so natural with playing the game because I've spent so many hours in it. So yeah, it's just a really easy game for me to stream because, you know, it's like, it's what I do, chats. It's just what I do. Because you are partner, bro, say the truth? No, there is no financial reward that Amazon give you for playing New World. I badly wish there was. That'd be fantastic. That would help a lot through the darker days. But no, Amazon does not give you any financial incentive to stream New World.
Shit, man.
It's kind of like the opposite, honestly. Yeah, but there's plenty of Twitch partners out there. There's about 56,000 Twitch partners last time I checked. And 10 of them play New World. Yeah, correlation in between those two things. How did you level up jewel crafting? I got up to the point where I could make gemstone dust and then just did a ton of gemstone dust. Is gemstone dust jewel crafting? It is, right? I think that's what it did. Or maybe gemstone dust is I can't remember. Or is it, no, I think I keep getting confused. I think it should be stone cutting. No 1 hour countdown? No, because I'm not entirely sure there will be a video, chat. I don't know. I hope there is, but I genuinely don't know if there will be a video today. At least not a video that we want to watch anyway. Demonic Bomb says, think it's worth to max out my skill rather than chase 700 gear score until October. So getting to 700 gear score is pretty fast, Demonic. My answer to that is just do what you find fun, man. I know it's maybe a bit of a answer to that is just do what you find fun, man. I know it's maybe a bit of a throwaway answer. It's like oh, Baggins, what a cheap answer, honestly.
Miaou! Allez, une petite dernière, papi. Et on y va, papi. Stop. Hanna, nice.
I think that there's a problem with New Worlds where it's like, if you're playing the game for rewards, if you're playing the game because you want to get a feeling of progression and you want to like, oh, I want to do something that's meaningful, I don't think there's that much to do in New World in that sense right now. Another video with blocked out chat. Dude, imagine they release another censored video. God, rugby, imagine that happens. If there is a video today, it is probably going to be like a new player video again. I hope they would have the foresight or hindsight or whatever awareness to, if they do have a video that's going to come out today and it's catered towards new players, maybe not release it. I don't know, maybe I'm being too selfish though. Again, I don't like want to scare away new players, and if somebody is excited for New Worlds, I mean, heck, I was excited when the game came out. I enjoyed the game when it came out. I enjoy the game now. It's maybe being sold differently from what it is, but you know, the money.
Today we celebrate the mystery of American renewal.
edition now.
New dev video today, says Andarin. So typically they do videos on a Monday. Monday 5 p.m. for me here in the UK. That's usually when we see videos come out. They haven't been doing videos for the past couple weeks because they wanted to wait until after the announcement, but the announcement has happened now, so in theory there would be a video today. I don't know. Furo says, what I don't like is the empty promise of last year. Buy the expansion, you get all the 2024 content and releases as well. What new content did they release? I mean, I guess if you buy the expansion, you get access to New World Eternum, which I don't know if you could call that an expansion. Like, by buying the expansion, you get the next expansion for free. Not that I would really label New World Eternum as an expansion, but yeah, so far, if you purchase Rise of the Angry Earth, you got all of the Rise of the Angry Earth content. So you got mounts, you got the artifact system, you got the level cap increase and stuff. You got the ability to basically still keep playing the game in the end game. And then, since then, the content that wasn't included in Rise of the Angry Earth that was added on was Glacial Tarn, Winter Runeforge, and some new artifacts. That's it, right? I don't think I'm forgetting about anything else. In terms of new content, we got the Winter Runeforge and Glacial Tarn. And the new artifacts. And then in October, you will also get the 10-man raid, the ability to be competitive in the PvP zone. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, the Rise of the Angry Earth got you the Rise of the Angry Earth content, a dungeon, a 10-person trial, the PvP zone, and the 10-person raid. Are you going to play New World Eternum on Fresh Start servers for the full experience? I am, Castro. Yeah, I will for sure. I will, dude. New chest run? Have we had a new chest run since the Rise of the Angry Earth? I don't think we have, right? What is this? They announced they were changing the direction to an MMO. New World is an MMO, not a PvP sandbox. Yeah, New World hasn't been its original vision since the beginning. Nothing new comes out in August? I don't think so, for real. I don't know for sure. Again, this is where Amazon needs to work with us about what's happening over the next 4 months, but they're not doing that. Eternum is basically them finishing Rise of the Angry Earth. Yeah, I think so, actually. Adding in a raid, which there should have been a raid in the Rise of the Angry Earth, and a PvP zone. Probably also should have been in the Rise of the Angry Earth expansion. Aaron Bloodrock says I'm medium with 21.9 weight, so not full medium. But when I switch to 22.9, all pieces named PvP track, I get less physical and elemental protection. Like, with less weight, I got more protection. I'm medium with 21.9 weight, so not full medium. But when I switch to 22.9, I mean, are the high 22.9? I mean, are you equipping higher gear score pieces when you're in the 21.9 weight? I would.
a leader of a guild. Alright, my settings are.
Delete it.
They're pretty much good to go. I'm just gonna get it posted in Discord and then that'll be cool. Welcome on in, everybody. Appreciate you guys.
Black, what's going on? Penumbra, that's what she said? Yes, that is what she said.
Yeah. Speaking of revelations, Ash's relation was my first guest, Mr. Burns here.
Yeah.
You want to detail, somehow we got on the subject of scrotoplasties, and you want to detail how all that goes down, so it's interesting.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't know anything about scrotoplasty, so I will not be asking you any questions I want to learn, so.
Yeah, well, I remember a few parts very distinctly.
It was rather vivid.
Rive, if you want to paste your Discord link in the YouTube chat and
Sure.
the Twitch chat, I'll pin those.
Sure.
I got to keep it on my clipboard.
Take it over. What's going on, man? How are you?
Welcome on in, everybody.
Good to see you. Dick hands, forever a meme.
Oh yeah, I know how it happened. Well, it started on the previous revelations, and then right before somehow well, not somehow, but I brought it up. And then,
Putain, sérieusement.
that was the first.
Shit,
segment.
mec, quand
It
même.
was, a good time. We had a good time on that show.
Who's on the screen? That is Rive Genesis. He's got his own YouTube channel. Talks about Ash's creation. Does his own podcast on Saturdays, most Saturdays. Okay, we got there.
Right. HD, welcome on in. Relation. Vale. I'm not gonna. We've discussed this enough already. Yes, sir. All right. We have a lot to discuss today. We got some plans. We got some plans for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy the show. And I'll try to have some timestamps if you're watching this at a later date. This is a pretty rare opportunity where we have a. Actually, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do our proper introductions, and I guess we can go ahead and get started with this. I just want to make sure. Okay. Make sure I'm on screen. All right. You ready to start?
I'm ready.
Putain.
All right. Are we playing Fall Guys today? You know, wasn't on the agenda.
My wife randomly asked me about Fall Guys last weekend. She's like, "Hey, can we play Fall Guys?" I'm like, "I'm a little busy right now. We haven't played in like 3 months."
Oh, putain.
Alright, so let's go ahead and get this started. Turn the music down.
Come on, bitch. Come on, putain. Viens, salope online, là.
Alright, welcome to another episode of the Voices of Bear with myself, Nice Gaming, and Is There No One Else, as per usual, and of course you, the Voices of Bear. Today, this week, we have two special guests. A lot of you already know, Mr. Rye Genesis. This is a good opportunity for you guys that don't know. This is a fun opportunity to discuss and do things a little
Et
different.
putain, mais vous êtes combien là? Je te jure quoi.
Series that we were doing and wanted us to bring that back.
Regarde ça, regarde toute cette bande de schlag online, mais venez, bande de putes là.
Talk with a fellow content creator that makes really
Ta gueule, mec, ta gueule. J'en veux 3, j'en prends 3, j'en prends que 3. Laisse-moi te tranquille.
And so of course we'll be talking to him about, you know,
J'ai dit j'en prends 3.
stuff or basic Ashes stuff, but a lot of the stuff.
Il est où celui-là? Eh, je te prends toi, viens ici ça.
Give a good guild interview, so
Ah, ça va.
really hope you guys enjoy seeing both sides of that. Kind of two birds with one stone here. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and introduce Rive Genesis, and of course make sure you follow him. I got him tagged in the title on YouTube. You guys know how to find this guy. I'll just
Est-ce que tu sers à quelque chose toi?
himself, and then yeah, we'll start getting to the good stuff.
Yeah, Brad Genesis. I've been making YouTube content for a couple of
Non, mais tu vas bloquer, tu vas bloquer.
I had some periods where I did Throne and Liberty for a while, Paxton for a while, but right now I'm back fully to Ashes. So it's the game that's upcoming that's interests me the most, certainly in terms of MMOs. And MMOs are definitely my main thing, is the case for you guys as well. So I've enjoyed making content for this game, but I'm so ready to make content for the game. Because it's all been speculation to this point, and I'm ready for that next phase to start pretty soon.
For sure. Yeah, so Rive, obviously is a content creator. You guys should go check him out, like Nice said. And you are also a guild leader. So you're a man of many hats.
Dégage, m'arrête de me healer, sale pute, là. Oh, putain. Ah. Come on, bitch. Putain, mais vous êtes où? Ah, mais regarde tous ces mousquets. Mais regarde tous ces mousquets. Tape-moi, 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 putain. Ah, vous êtes trop lent. Come on, bitch. Je te suis jusqu'au bout, sale pute. Jusqu'au bout, tire avec. Jusqu'à la mort, hein. Mais il passe, sale pute! Ah, putain. Avec ton chiasse online, quoi. Mais il pas, putain. Putain! Tu veux bien me la lâcher? Casse-toi, sale mob! Come on, bitch. Putain de mob de merde, quoi. Ferme ta gueule. Et ici, sale pute. Putain! Arrête de me healer, putain! Va sucer les autres, quoi. Ah, putain. Saute, salut. C'est quoi ce petit là? Hésite. Putain d'art de merde.
That it's smiling in some way with cameras, that it doesn't, touch things. That's relatively simple. Okay, so to both agree and to push back. So you're referring to touch, like soft robotics, like the actual touch. But I would argue that you could formulate just basic interaction between, like non-contact interaction is also a kind of touch. And that might be very difficult to solve. That's the basic, not disagreement, but that's the basic open question to me with self-driving cars. And which is how much interaction is required to solve self-driving cars, how much touch is required. You said that in your intuition, touch is not required. In my intuition, to create a product that's compelling to use, you're going to have to interact with pedestrians, not just avoid pedestrians, but interact with them. When we drive around in major cities, we're constantly threatening everybody's life with our movements. And that's how they respect us. There's a game theory going on with pedestrians. And I'm afraid you can't just formulate autonomous driving as a collision avoidance problem. So I think it goes beyond, like collision avoidance is the first order approximation. But then, at least in case of Tesla, they are gathering data from people driving their cars. And I believe that's an example of supervised learning data that they can train their models on. And they are doing it, which can give the model this another level of behavior that is needed to actually interact with the real world.
Yeah, it's interesting how much data is required to achieve that. What do you think of the whole Tesla autopilot approach, the computer vision-based approach with multiple cameras and it's a data engine, it's a multitask, multi-headed neural network.
Come on, bitch! Combien vous en voulez pour notre putain de line? Parce que je t'ai dit de sauter, t'as vu.
Which is, you deploy a neural network and then there's humans that use it and then it runs into trouble in a bunch of places and that stuff is...
Come on, bitch. Je vais te tuer. Je vais te tuer, papu! Je vais tuer toute ta famille, putain! Viens ici, salope de là! Viens ici! Viens ici, papu! Viens ici, putain! Je vais sodomiser toute ta famille, viens ici! Putain, c'est que je m'abouche.
Even when I was speaking about, collecting trajectories from humans, that's like a first step, and then you deploy the system, and then you have humans revising all the issues, and in some sense, like this approach converges to a system that doesn't make mistakes, because for the cases where there are mistakes, you gather data how to fix them, and the system will keep on improving.
So there's a very, to me, difficult question about how hard that, how long that conversion takes, how hard it is. The other aspect of autonomous vehicles probably applies to...
Putain! Y'a combien de trisos ici, quoi? Putain! Putain!
So one, there's a human factors perspective of psychology of humans being able to supervise people telling operation of those robots. And the other is society.
Oh putain! Je te jure, quoi! Allez, venez, bande de salopes online, quoi! C'est pas assez rapide, ça, le putain online. Viens ici! Salope online. Viens ici, toi! 3, ça me suffit. 3, ça me va. Oh putain! Allez! Arrête de bouffer, ça va pas online, quoi. Merde. Eh mais... Bouge pas.
Yeah, I would say I believe that the part
Come on, bitch.
of deployment is actually showing people that the human things can be trusted. Yeah. And trust is also like a class that is actually really easy to crack it. Yeah. And
Come on, bitch.
with innovation, that there is some resistance toward it, and it's just a natural progression. So we'll have to keep on proving that indeed these systems are worth being used. And I would say, I also found out that often the best way to convince people is by letting them experience it. Yeah, absolutely. That's the case with Tesla Autopilot, for example. That's the case with with basically robots in general. It's kind of funny to hear people.
Allez! Putain!
Even like Lego robots, when they actually interact with them, there's joy.
Eh mais je vais vous tuer les deux là. Putain, vous êtes pas habilités pour... Putain, mais arrête de bloquer, putain, viens ici. Viens ici, ça pute. Viens ici. Pute online. Allez, viens, salope online. You're fucking dead, man.
So we talked about generation program, generation
fucking dead.
Even self-supervised learning and visual space for robotics.
Sodomisé tellement là.
With you and like this whole beautiful spectrum of AI, do you think is a good benchmark, a good test to strive for?
J'ai changé d'arme depuis tout à l'heure, putain. Bloc, sale pute! Putain! Ah, gueule! Ah, gueule!
I think that would be very impressive. With theorem proving, is that proving theorems is a good... like one thing that the machine did, you would say, damn, exactly. Okay.
Putain, mais casse-toi! Tu sers à rien, toi, putain!
That's what happens. And I mean, in some sense, that's actually what happens over the years.
Putain!
We get used to things very quickly. You know something? I talked to Rodney Brooks. I don't know if you know what that is. He called Alpha Zero homework problem. Because he was saying, like, there's nothing special about it. It's not a big leap. And I didn't... Well, he's coming from one of the aspects that we referred to as he was part of the founding of iRobot, which deployed tens of millions of robots in the home. So if you see robots that are actually in the homes of people as the legitimate instantiation of artificial intelligence, then yes, maybe an AI that plays a silly game like going chess is not a real accomplishment. But to me, it's a fundamental leap. But I think say, okay, well then that game of chess or Go wasn't that difficult compared to the thing that's currently unsolved. So my intuition is that from perspective of the evolution of these AI systems, will at first see the tremendous progress in digital space. And the main thing about digital space is also that there's a lot of recorded data, plus you can very rapidly deploy things to billions of people, while in case of physical space, the deployment part takes...
Putain, mais vous êtes tous ensemble de salopes online, quoi. Putain, ta gueule, quoi. Vous êtes combien, là, putain? Et ma team, elle se fait sodomiser, putain. Putain, c'est quoi cette team? Vous êtes des schlagons là, putain. Fucking retard team, man. I wish you get...
I still would like, to, at least at the moment, my impression is that I would like to have at this the arbitrary characteristics that you can define based on your preferences. I think that's maybe where we are heading, and maybe I'm resisting the future. Yeah. I'm telling you, if I got to choose, if I could live in Elder Scrolls Skyrim versus the real world, I'm not so sure I would stay with the real world. Yeah, I mean, the question is, will VR be sufficient to get us there, or do you need to, plug electrodes in the brain? And it would be nice if these electrodes wouldn't be invasive. Yeah. Or at least like provably non-destructive. But in the digital space, do you think we'll be able to solve the Turing test, the spirit of the Turing test? Which is, do you think we'll be able to achieve compelling natural language conversation between people, like have friends that are AI systems on the internet? I totally think it's doable. Do you think the current approach of GPT? Yes, so there is, the part of at first learning all the content out there, and I think that still system should keep on learning as it speaks with you. Yeah. And I think that should work. The question is how exactly to do it, and obviously we have people at OpenAI asking these questions, and kind of at first pre-training on all existing content is like a backbone, and is a decent backbone. Do you think AI needs a body connecting to our robotics question to truly connect with humans, or can most of the connection be in the digital space? So let's see. We know that there are people who met each other online and they fell in love. Yeah. So it seems that it's conceivable to establish connection which is purely through internet. Of course, it might be more compelling the more modalities you add. So it would be like you're proposing like a Tinder, but for AI. You like swipe right and left, and half the systems are AI, and the other is humans, and you don't know which is which. That would be your formulation of Turing test. The moment AI is able to achieve more swipe right or left, whatever, the moment it's able to be more attractive than other humans, it passes the Turing test. Then you would pass the Turing test in attractiveness. Well, no, like attractiveness, just to clarify. There would be conversation, not just visual, right. It's also attractiveness with wit and humor and whatever makes conversation pleasant for humans. Okay, all right. So you're saying it's possible to achieve in the digital space? In some sense, I would almost ask that question: why wouldn't that be possible? Right. Well, I have this argument with my dad all the time. He thinks that touch and smell are really important. And so they can be very important. And I'm saying the initial systems, they won't have it. Still, I wouldn't, there are people being born without these senses. And, I believe that they can still fall in love and have meaningful life. Yeah, I wonder if it's possible to go close to all the way by just training on transcripts of conversations. Like, I wonder how far that takes us. So I think that actually still you want images. Like, I would like, so I don't have kids, but like I could imagine having AI tutor. It has to see, kids drawing some pictures on the paper. And facial expressions and all that kind of stuff. We use dogs and humans use their eyes to communicate with each other. I think that's a really powerful mechanism of communication. Body language too. That words are much lower bandwidth. And for body language, we still, we can have a system that displays an image of its or facial expression on the computer. It doesn't have to move, mechanical pieces or so. So I think that. That there is like kind of a progression. You can imagine that text might be the simplest to tackle, but this is not a complete human experience at all. You expand it to, let's say, images both for input and output, and what you describe is actually the final, frontier, what makes us human, the fact that we can touch each other or smell or so, and it's the hardest from perspective of data and deployment. And I believe that these things might happen gradually. Are you excited by that possibility, this particular application of human to AI friendship and Like, would you do you look forward to a world? You said you're living with a few folks and you're very close friends with them. Do you look forward to a day where one or two of those friends are AIs?
So, if the system would be truly wishing me well, rather than being in a situation that it optimizes for my time to interact with the system,
The line between those is a gray area.
I think that's the distinction between love and possession. And these things, they might be often correlated for humans, but it's like you might find that there are like some friends with whom you haven't spoken for months.
Yeah.
And then, you pick up the phone, it's as the time hasn't passed. They are not holding to you. And I wouldn't like to have AI system that, it's trying to convince me to spend time with it. I would like the system to optimize for what I care about and help me in achieving my own goals.
There's some, I don't know. There's some manipulation, there's some possessiveness, there's some insecurities, there's fragility. All those things are necessary to form a close friendship over time, to go through some dark shit together, some bliss and happiness together. I feel like there's a lot of greedy, self-centered behavior within that process.
My intuition, but I might be wrong, is that human-computer interaction doesn't have to go through computer being greedy, possessive, and so on. It is possible to train systems, maybe, that they actually, they are, I guess, prompted or fine-tuned or so to truly optimize for what you care about. And you could imagine that, the way how the process would look like is at some point, we as the humans, we look at the transcript of the conversation or like an entire interaction and we say, actually here there was more loving way to go about it, and we supervise the system toward being more loving, or maybe we train the system such that it has a reward function toward being more loving.
Yeah. Or maybe the possibility of the system being an asshole and manipulative and possessive every once in a while is a feature, not a bug. Because some of the happiness that we experience when two souls meet each other, when two humans meet each other, is a kind of break from the assholes in the world. And so you need assholes in AI as well. Because it'll be like a breath of fresh air to discover an AI that the three previous AIs you had
are too friendly,
or cruel or whatever. It's like some kind of mix. And then this one is just right. But you need to experience the full spectrum. I think you need to be able to engineer assholes.
so let's see.
Because there's some level to us being appreciated. To appreciate the human experience, we need the dark and the light.
So that kind of reminds me, I met a while ago at the meditation retreat one woman, and beautiful woman, and she had a crutch, okay? She had the trouble walking on one leg. I asked her what has happened, and she said that 5 years ago she was in Maui, Hawaii, and she was eating a salad and some snails. Apparently there are no robots, snails over there. She got into coma for a year. And apparently there is, high chance of just dying, but she was in the coma. At some point, she regained partially consciousness. She was able to hear people in the room. He would behave as she would